Good evening, council, staff, members of the public. May I have a mover and seconder to call the meeting to order, please? Councillors Garwood and Deputy Cabral, that the regular meeting of council held on the Township of Springwater, April 16th, come to order at 6:34 p.m. At this time, I will ask to join in the singing of O Canada and to remain standing for a moment of silence for our former Deputy Mayor, Tony Hope, and Springwater's first CAO, Julian Tobbs. Thank you. Councillor, are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest this evening? And seeing none, may I have a mover and seconder to call the public meeting to order, please? Deputy Cabral and Councillor Thompson. That the public meeting of the council held under section 34 of the Planning Act for applications ZB 2025-003, and that's ARU update, and ZB 2025-002 for 229 North Orlake Road be called to order at 6:36 p.m. All those in favor? And that has carried. Welcome to this public meeting of Springwater Township Council held in section 34 of the Planning Act to give the public an opportunity to express their views in regard to the proposed applications and amendments. The first part of the meeting is to present the proposed applications and or amendments. Following, the public will be given an opportunity to make an oral submission through Zoom application or in person. Any person wishing to make an oral submission was to have notified the township prior to 8:30 this morning and been added to the commenters list. If the person or public body who has filed an appeal of a decision of the Township of Springwater in respect to the Planning Act application and does not make an oral submission at the planning meeting or written submission at the township before the proposed amendments are passed, the Ontario Land Tribunal may dismiss all or part of the appeal. All comments and questions are to be addressed through the chair. Oral submissions will be included in the meeting minutes and form part of the public record, including the name and address of the speaker as information collected in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. The minutes of the meeting will be posted on the township website. I will now call upon the clerk to confirm the notice of this meeting and the dates which is begin for ZB 2025-003, our ARU bylaw update.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Notice of this public meeting was published in the Springwater News on the 27th day of March, 2025, and circulated electronically or mailed to all persons and public bodies as prescribed under the Planning Act and its regulations. Notice was also posted on the township's website.
Has the planning department received any correspondence in response to the notice of public meeting?
There have been 3 items of correspondence received for this application. From the Chief Building Official in an email dated March 19th, 2025. From the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority in an email dated April 4th, 2025. And from the City of Barrie Risk Management in a memo dated April 9th, 2025. All of these pieces of correspondence can be found on tonight's agenda.
I will now call upon our senior planner to outline the purpose and effect of the zoning bylaw amendment.
Planning Department's overall efforts to update our policies and bylaws to maintain compliance with upper tier policies. Next slide, please. The township's current ARU bylaw was passed in early 2021 and regulates ARUs throughout the township. Since then, several legislative changes have been made at the provincial level, and we are required to update our bylaws to maintain compliance. This is also a good opportunity to review our bylaw and reflect on the success and any potential shortcomings that we've seen over the past 4 years. Next slide, please. Just a quick diagram to show what we're talking about when we mean ARUs. So additional residential units can be within a primary dwelling within a primary dwelling. So that could be within a basement apartment or an attic conversion. ARUs can also be in standalone units in an accessory structure or building, such as a garage conversion. Next slide, please. Again, another illustration of ARUs. So the photo on the left, you can see the side door probably leads to a basement apartment. And the photo on the right, you can see a unit above the garage there. Just some examples so you can visualize what we're talking about. Next slide, please. Since the township passed the ARU bylaw in 2021, 81 building permit applications have been opened for ARUs. Of those, the Planning Department has seen 22 minor variance applications, which have been approved, as well as 2 site-specific bylaws. The township also keeps a registry of registered ARUs as shown on the map. Next slide, please. So a quick overview of the bylaw review process that we're currently in. An information report was received by council on March 19th, kicking off this process. Tonight is the statutory public meeting to open the floor to council and members of the public for feedback. Following feedback received tonight, staff will take back comments and begin preparing a recommendation report and a final bylaw for council's consideration. Longer term, staff will continue to keep a registry of approved ARUs. Next slide, please. A summary of the current township ARU bylaw. ARUs are permitted on any property where a single detached, semi-detached, or townhouse is permitted. As per provincial requirements, up to 2 ARUs are permitted on a property. One can be within the primary dwelling, and one can be within an accessory building. Currently, 2 parking spaces are required per each ARU, and ARUs, of course, need to meet building code and all zoning setbacks. Next slide, please. ARUs are not permitted as of right on certain lots. For example, lots with multiplexes, apartment buildings, bed and breakfasts, group homes, and the residential seasonal zone. Next slide, please. For this evening, a draft zoning bylaw amendment has been prepared showing the required legislative changes as a minimum. So we recognize that this draft could evolve throughout the process, but as a starting point, we wanted to reflect what is required as per provincial updates. And those are 2 main changes. The first is a reduction in required parking from 2 spaces per ARU to 1 space. And I think it's important to note that there would be no changes to the parking required for the primary dwelling. That would maintain at 2 spaces. So there's no changes there. And the second notable change is 45% maximum lot coverage permitted for fully serviced urban lots. So fully serviced lots within a settlement area. Next slide, please. Other things we're going to be looking at as part of this review, we're going to be discussing interdepartmentally, especially with the building department, to assess any shortcomings people have observed. We've also been discussing the setbacks that are applied for ARU. So currently the setbacks default back to the parent zone setbacks to the primary dwelling. And the thinking behind that was accessory buildings accessory buildings have reduced setbacks. However, once you're introducing somebody living in that garage space or whatever the accessory building may be, you want to mitigate any potential privacy and nuisance concerns with neighbors. So while our setback in residential zones is currently would be the 7.5 meters as is in the parent zone, that is something that we're prepared to look at and consider going forward. I also mentioned we're looking at minor variance applications that have been submitted and approved over the past 4 years. Next slide, please. So of the 22 minor variances submitted and approved, 20 of them dealt with size. So most of them, they were seeking a relief in the size restrictions. As well, a large percentage dealt with height and then setbacks and lot coverage. And just to say those numbers again, so of 81 permits opened, about 22 variances came out of that, so about a quarter. Next slide, please. So for next steps, again, the purpose of tonight is to share the draft bylaw, which reflects the required provincial legislative changes, and open the floor for feedback from council and members of the public to begin preparing a recommendation report and a final bylaw for council's consideration. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I will now call upon the moderator to provide the number of people who have registered to ask questions or make comments regarding this application.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Coughlin. There have been no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Are there any members of the public here to speak to this application? I could turn to members of council. Seeing any. Well, for your first time, that's the exact number of questions you wanted to answer tonight. So that was a great presentation. Thank you very much for it. And I look forward to continue to work with you. And at that time, I can now turn this to thank you to all who participated in the public meeting with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment and for showing an interest in this matter. We will now move to ZB 2025-002229 North Ore Lake Road. And I will call upon the clerk to confirm the notice of this meeting and the dates to which notice was given.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Notice of this public meeting was mailed on the 26th day of March, 2025 to the owner of the subject lands and to the assessed owners of 33 properties in the Township of Springwater within 240 meters of the area to which the proposed amendment would apply, and to all persons and public bodies as prescribed under the Planning Act and its regulations. Notice was posted at the assessed property to which the proposed amendment applies at locations visible from North Ore Lake Road and also posted on the township's website.
Has the planning department received any correspondence to the notice of public meeting?
There have been 4 items of correspondence received for this application from the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority in an email dated April 2nd, 2025, from Severn Sound Environmental Association in an email dated April 2nd, 2025, from the City of Barrie Risk Management Office in a memo dated April 7th, 2025, and from James Elliott of 2227 North Ore Lake Road in a letter received dated April 14th, 2025. All pieces of correspondence can be found on tonight's agenda.
Thank you. I will now call upon Planner Hawk to outline the purpose and effect of the zoning bylaw amendment.
Good evening, Council, Township staff, and members of the public. My name is Ariane. I'm one of the planners here at the Township. I'm going to be doing the presentation for application ZB 2025-02 for 2229 North Ore Lake Road. Next slide, please. So just a bit of background on this property. There's currently a seasonal dwelling on there, as well as 2 decks and an accessory building, so a storage shed. It is serviced via a private well and septic system and is zoned residential conversion hold within the zoning bylaw 5000 and designated lakeside residential within the township's official plan. Next slide, please. So the hold provisions that are put on some of these properties are put in place to ensure that essentially if there's been a seasonal use on the lands, if it's going to be converted to a permanent year-round use, that there's servicing, access, and that it meets the zoning bylaw. So Traditionally, this type of application would have been a minor variance. And then a lift hold application, which the lift hold would have been brought forward to council. But when we did the zoning kind of checklist for this, we saw that the lot area and the frontage was deficient, which means that it triggered it into a zoning bylaw amendment, and it kind of encompassed anything that had to be rectified and recognized on this property to one application. So that's why we're here tonight for you. Next slide. So application ZB 2025-02 proposes to permit the reconstruction and replacement of a seasonal single detached dwelling as a permanent four-season residence. The following changes to comprehensive zoning bylaw are being proposed. So a side yard setback of 1.2 meters, lot coverage of 37%, lot area of 447.05 square meters, lot frontage of 10.09 meters, and a setback from the water for the existing deck of 0.0 meters. Next slide, please. So that concludes my presentation. The agent and myself are here should you have any questions.
Thank you. I will now call upon the moderator to provide the number of people who have registered to ask questions and make comments regarding this application.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. There have been no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Are there any individuals who are present this evening that would like to ask questions or make comments? And I will turn to members of council. Councillor Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Just a general question because well, obviously this is your wheelhouse, not mine. I didn't think you were allowed to have a zero setback from the water.
Planner Hawk.
Thank you. Through the chair to yourself and the rest of council. So normally, no, the requirements is 18.0 meters. I guess the structure was put into place prior to this. We did circulate the NVCA as part of this meeting, and the only concern that they had was just that they get a permit application to essentially recognize the 0 meter setbacks.
Not seeing anything further. Thank you to who all participated in the public meeting with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment application and for showing an interest in this matter. May I have a mover and seconder to adjourn the public meeting, please? I have Councillor Garwood and Deputy Cabral that this public meeting of council held under Section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, CP 13 as amended for zoning bylaw amendment ZB 2025-003, the additional residential unit bylaw update, and zoning bylaw amendments ZB 2025-002 by Kay Atkinson on behalf of the owners of the subject lands does now adjourn at 6:56 p.m. All those in favor? And that is carried. May I have a mover and seconder for the direction following the public meeting, please? I have Councillors Fisher and Moore. The council having held the public meeting in accordance with Section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, CP 13 as amended for zoning bylaw amendment ZB 2025-003, the additional residential unit bylaw update, having been noted correspondence and input received, direct that the application be referred back to staff. Comments or questions? All those in favor? And that has carried. A mover and seconder for the direction for the second public meeting. Councillor Moore, Councillor Fisher. The council having held a public meeting in accordance with Section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, CP 13 as amended for zoning bylaw amendment ZB 2025-002 on behalf of the owners of the subject lands, having noted correspondence and input received, direct that the application be referred back to staff. All those in favor? And that has carried. Yes, so item 6.1, the public meeting for the development charges has been rescheduled to May 21st. And we'll move on to item 7.1, the North Simcoe Community Futures Development Corporation. Oh, and it's virtual. All right, then.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, Mr. Colhane, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council for having me this evening. My name is Kevin Culhane. I am the General Manager of North Simcoe Community Futures Development Corporation. And I'm just going to pull up my slide deck here.
We have it up for you. You can just say next slide and we can move it along.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so today's focus will be on our community impact and how we can partner together to strengthen the local economy. Next slide, please. North Simcoe Community Futures has been serving the North Simcoe area since 1986, helping businesses grow with funding, coaching, and resources, with services offered in both English and French. This ensures that we are accessible and inclusive, meeting the diverse needs of our community. We focus on fostering community-driven development, job creation, and sustainable business practices. Next slide, please. North Simcoe Community Futures values collaboration with municipalities, businesses, and community organizations. By working together, we ensure that businesses have the resources they need to succeed and the community benefits from their growth. Our goal is to continue expanding our impact through partnership with local governments and other organizations, ensuring sustainable regional development. Next slide, please. Through programs like business coaching and access to loans, North Simcoe Community Futures helps businesses create jobs, generate income, and strengthen the local economy. By supporting these businesses, we're investing in the long-term economic sustainability of North Simcoe. We've worked with thousands of businesses in the region, helping them navigate the challenges of starting, growing, and transitioning a business. Next slide, please. Let me share a success story that highlights the real impact of our programs. This story showcases how, with the right support, a vision can turn into a thriving business that not only benefits the entrepreneur, but also gives back to the community. Next slide, please. Chris Walsh spent 17 years in hospitality before deciding to open Hemingway's Barbershop, combining his love for the craft with a desire to create a community hub. Recognizing the challenges of starting a business, he turned to us for guidance and support, receiving both coaching and a startup loan. With these resources, Chris was able to bring his vision to life and launch Hemingway's Barbershop. Next slide, please. Hemingway's is now a thriving business in downtown Midland, a testament to Chris's hard work and our support. Beyond just running a successful business, Hemingway's is actively involved in the community, sponsoring local sports teams and participating in charity events. Chris has also played it forward by referring other new business owners to us, showing how the program's impact continues to ripple through the community. Next slide, please. This year, we're looking to expand our impact with new programs and events that support entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey. Here are a few of the concepts we're exploring. The Side Hustle Success Program helps individuals transform their side hustles into thriving businesses. Women Entrepreneurs Intensive Growth Program. This empowers women with mentorship and resources to scale their businesses. And finally, Small Business Expo and Conference will connect local entrepreneurs to showcase products, gain insights, and grow their networks. Next slide, please. So the call to action tonight, if I could please, we're asking for your support to help further our mission of supporting small business in North Simcoe. You can help by promoting our services in your network and raising awareness about the resources we offer. Please encourage potential business owners to reach out to us. And a financial contribution would allow us to expand our programs and help us support even more entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. The work we do at North Simcoe Community Futures has a direct positive impact on businesses and the community. By partnering with us, you help create jobs, grow businesses, and ensure a sustainable future for North Simcoe. We're here to help our region thrive. Together, we can make a lasting difference. And the next slide, please. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer or try to answer them.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I'll just have a mover and seconder, and then we will open it for Deputy Cabral and Councillor Alexander. And it reads that the delegation from North Simcoe Community Futures Corporation be received. And at that time, we can have any comments or questions. Councillor Moore?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Asking, what is the application process? So if somebody wants to find out more information or apply to the program, what's the eligibility and the upside for costs?
Mr. Culhane?
No, thank you for the question. Yeah, we do have an application process. So there is an intake form that's created. We support loans up to $300,000. So there are small fees, but those are only collected, once we go through the process. So essentially, it's two main things. There's a business plan and there's a cash flow analysis done. The five C's of credit are really important to us, right? Credit, capacity, character, collateral, all of that. So when the big banks or BDC will turn you down, often we will take on your business because that's why we're here. We're here to create business and support business growth in North Simcoe. I hope I answered the question.
Councillor Garwood?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin, and thank you, Mr. Culhane. I would recommend reaching out to the Elmville BIA as well. As many of us on this council and in the room and in the community understand, our Elmville BIA is a growing group, and the Elmville business community is also significantly expanding over the past few years, with significant opportunity still left to grow. So I recommend connecting with that group. I am the representative that sits on the BIA, and I'd be happy to make the connection.
That'd be fantastic. I appreciate that. Thank you for the idea.
Deputy Carell?
Oh, thank you for the presentation. From what you've just described, you seem like a pretty well-kept secret to the north end there that I can certainly understand why folks might be reaching out to you. I just wanted to know, since your inception in the 80s there, is this as a result of any federal or provincial programming or federal provincial funding that assists you with what you're doing?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Deputy Mayor. It's a great question. So there are community future organizations throughout rural Canada. So all of rural Ontario, for example, has a community futures except for the urban centers. Barrie is an example of a urban center. Of course, the Torontos, the Londons, the Ottawas, right? There are over 70 community futures in Ontario alone. It is a federally funded program. So the CFs were given a chunk of money, several $1 million back in the day for the loan portfolio. And we are funded through operating budgets of $330,000. We get $350,000 a year because we offer bilingual service. And we have to find a way to run the organization, the company, and support North Simcoe with those funds.
Follow on?
Thank you very much. And through Mayor Coughlin, once again, with respect to the actual loan process, I might understand that your organization actually carries the loan, or do you place the loan with another financial institution?
Mr. Culhane?
Another great question. Thank you. No, we 100% carry the loan. We have a loan review committee, which is comprised of local volunteers that adjudicates, if you will, the loan process. I will package it together with my staff. We will provide recommendations. We meet on a monthly basis. And if they decide to move forward with the loan, then my staff moves into gear and we make things happen for the entrepreneur.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm not seeing any further questions from members of council. So I have this moved and seconded that the delegation from North Simcoe Community Futures Development Corporation be received. All those in favor? And that has carried. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thanks again for your time. Enjoy the day. Take care.
We'll now move on to our question period, and I will turn to our clerk to see if there's been anybody registered.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. There have been no question period submissions for tonight's meeting. However, the clerk's office did receive a request to make an oral submission this evening after the deadline, the registration deadline. So I believe Mr. Mike Harris would be in the audience to make a great. If you wanted to come up to the mics and state your name and address for us, please.
If I can ask that you can just, sorry, these mics are not great. So if you could take a seat and actually pull it in close, thank you. Thank you.
My concern here is with the transportation master plan that we just got a a great presentation of. I believe it's using a very antiquated technology antiquated philosophy and design system that's supposed to serve us up till 2041. So I'll stick with one issue to keep it short, is the active transportation network. If you saw on that map that was shown to us, it does not create a active transportation network. The vast majority of it is paved shoulder, which is not considered active transportation. And I will use two reasons why it is not. One is because no one in a wheelchair, no mom with a stroller, or no parent is going to feel comfortable allowing their child the freedom of mobility to ride on the paved shoulder of a busy road. If it is not comfortable for people to use, people will not use it. If we're trying to tackle traffic, this will not solve it. The second reason why I don't believe paved shoulders is considered active transportation, as we saw there, the cost over the next 15 years, the vast majority was active transportation. So I believe that is misleading, because considering paved shoulders as the cost for active transportation is not accurate, because if paved shoulders were just for active transportation, why would it be built to the same standard as a road that is made to support, full dump trucks, transportation, transport vehicles, everything like that? It's because it's part of a road. They were building paved shoulders prior to active transportation. So I think it is very misleading, and it does not solve the problem that we're trying to solve with increasing active transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you catch the number? And sorry, you said you're the road that you live on, but not the actual address. number.
Heatherwood Drive. I need specific?
Yes.
Okay, 12 Heatherwood Drive.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public who are wishing to ask questions or make comments? Not seeing any. May I have a mover and seconder for our minutes, please? Deputy Cabral and Councillor Garwood, that the minutes of council listed herein be approved as presented. The minutes of the regular meeting of council of March 19th, 2025, and the minutes of the special meeting of council of April 7th, 2025. Are there any questions or comments on these minutes? Not seeing any. All those in favor? That has carried. We'll now move on to our boards and committees, and mover and seconder, please. Councillor Moore and Councillor Thompson, that the boards and committees of the organizations listed herein be received as information. One is our minutes from the Agricultural Advisory Committee of February 10th, 2025. Two is the minutes of our Huronia West OPP Detachment Board special meeting of March 12th, 2025. Three is the minutes of the North Nottawasaga Conservation Authority special meeting of March 17th, 2025. Four is the minutes of the Joint Accessibility Committee of March 18th, 2025. 5 is the minutes of the Springwater Sports Heritage Committee Annual General Meeting of March 24th, 2025. And 6 is the minutes of the Springwater Sports Heritage Committee meeting of March 24th, 2025. Any comments or questions on these? Not seeing any. All those in favor? And that has carried. And we have our action reports. We have action reports items 10.2 through 10.8, and 10.7 has been requested to be pulled to be dealt with separately. Council, are there any other items to be pulled and dealt with separately? So mover and seconder for our action reports, please. I have Councillor Fisher and Councillor Thompson. That action report 10.2 through 10.8, with the exception of 10.7, be received, and that the recommendations contained therein as presented. 10.2, the award of the Phelpson Roof Rink. 10.3 is the award tender of the 5 new half-ton four-wheel drive extended cab gas trucks. 10.4 is award tender of 22 PW. 10.5 is the award of RFP 2025-02 PW roadside tractor. 10.6 is award of tender for the 2025-2023 PW, and that is the new 2-ton truck with aluminum dump body. 10.8 is enhancements to the water management. Anything further on any of those? Just comments or questions? All those in favor? And that has carried. And a mover and seconder for 10.7, please. Councillor Garwood and Councillor Alexander, that the award of the RFP 2025-21 for the executive search firm for CAO recruitment. And I will open that up for any comments or questions. Counselor Thompson?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. So I would like to see this deferred if possible to the May 21st meeting, and for a couple of reasons. First reason is with the announcement of strong mayor powers last week. I assume on the 1st of May, there's going to be a much larger pool of candidates for CAO for us to look at, number one. And number two, it's a large sum of money. This award is $29,510. As part of the strong mayor powers as well, it gives our mayor the authority to choose the CAO herself. And if that is what she chooses to do, awarding this RFP would be a waste of taxpayers' money. So I would recommend that we defer this to the 21st of May meeting, and between then and now, see how this plays out.
Additional comments or questions? Counselor Alexander?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. So I'm not in agreement with deferring it. I'm a little bit surprised. This is something we unanimously decided was the best option for our township, to have the best opportunity to have the biggest pool of, CAOs or potential CAOs put in front of us. So I still think it's the right route to go. Whether the CAO pool opens on May 1st, which one would hope a whole bunch aren't fired, they would still have the ability to apply. By awarding this contract, we're not going to be cutting off the date for applications within 2 weeks. So I don't, deferring this simply puts us in a position to be further down the road before we do obtain a new CAO. So unless Mayor Coughlin is planning on making the decision herself regardless, I don't see the point of deferring this.
Thank you. I don't have intentions of moving in that direction at this time. I will say that prior to the announcement of Strong Mayors, I had one person reach out, and since the announcement of Strong Mayors, I've had 7 people interested. I think that the landscape has changed. I think that the decision to move to a headhunter, we wanted the pool to be larger rather than doing it in-house. My question is now that Strong Mayors is going to be in effect, and whether it's 169 potential CAOs that are available or 50, I think that the pool has changed, and I think that it might be something that we can potentially do in-house. Deputy Mayor and Councillor Garwood.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. I thought there was a sense of urgency to move this forward, and actually, we've had conversation prior to the announcement of strong mayor powers. I think if anything, this will provide a robust pool of candidates who are in a position to provide this township with the skills, talents, and to help move us forward. I think it also provides opportunity for those in-house that might like to throw their hat into the ring to also be considered. So I'm not interested in deferring it. As Councillor Alexander pointed out, we unanimously voted to follow this course and move through this process. If strong mayor powers play into it, then hopefully the best candidate from the pool will be the one that's selected. Anyway, that's my only comments. I'm not interested in deferring this. I think the whole point was to try and get this going as quickly as we could, and it's before us today.
Councillor Fisher?
I'm not in favor of deferring it. I think it's putting our best foot forward and staying the course, the most professional course. I do, however, agree with Councillor Thompson. Come the 1st or thereafter, the pool may be larger, and I think that actually this will allow us to sort of intake those candidates and hopefully select the best person, because it's a very important role for us. So I think we do not defer; we stay the course.
Councillor Garwood, sorry, I skipped over you there.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. I see value to both sides of this conversation, understanding that we are sitting here tonight with a report in front of us that was unanimously decided upon when strong mayors didn't exist, when none of us knew that strong mayors was even a realm of possibility for 169 municipalities across this province, in addition to the 47 that already have it today. So I think anytime we're spending any amount of money, again, this is almost $30,000 and change. Yes, we still want the most qualified group of candidates to ensure that we have somebody that can lead this corporation internally. But at the same time, I also understand there's a lot of unknowns that this council does not know yet. And many councils across this province are asking the same questions. They don't have those answers. We do not right now. This council will have the opportunity in early May to have an orientation and learn more about strong mayors. I think, as it outlines already in the report that was provided from our HR team, it will take roughly 12 weeks to complete the recruitment process. Therefore, we will not be hiring a CAO if we go this route tomorrow. This is going to be a long process no matter what. And I will go back to the same comments that I said back when I agreed with this initial report, which was we need to take our time. We need to do this right. We need to have somebody in that seat for many years that is going to be able to, again, lead this corporation as we've had in the past. So I'm okay to defer for a few weeks, understanding that a few weeks is not going to change the end result. It could save the taxpayer $30,000. But again, there's only one person at this table that knows what's going to happen in regards to the CAO, and that would be the mayor come May 1st. And she doesn't even have strong mayors right now. So again, I think the most appropriate thing for us to do is to take a pause here, wait a few weeks, learn a bit more about these powers, consult with the mayor come May 1st, and then bring this conversation back up at our meeting in May. Thank you.
Councillor Alexander?
So I'm struggling with how the strong mayor's powers forms their decision on this, regardless of whether we go with the executive search firm, which gives us the best pool of candidates, because that's what these people do for a living. They will bring us in candidates that wouldn't come to us on their own. This is why you pay these firms money. Regardless of that, Mayor Coughlin, if she chooses, still has the ability to choose. It's with strong mayor's power. So whether it's from a small group or the large group, why wouldn't we want to be putting it out to the large group to get the best qualified applicants that we potentially don't know are out there? So that's why I would struggle putting it off, because I don't really see how strong mayor powers forms this decision. It will be Mayor Coughlin's decision regardless.
Councillor Fisher?
I think if unanimously we felt it was the best decision weeks ago, it really shouldn't be any different now. And I really would hope that with strong mayor's powers, the mayor does take a look at all of the candidates, the larger pool of qualified candidates. And I think allowing her and hopefully council to pick from the larger, more qualified pool, particularly for that position. Again, I think we stay the course. It makes a lot of sense. It made sense before when we voted on it together. I still think it makes sense now. There's no point in deferring it.
Councillor Moore and Councillor Thompson?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Just two questions. First, and I'm not sure if you can answer this right now or not, but would it not be your intention, though, to bring the decision back to council for sort of a review, or would that not be something that you would consider? But secondly, my second question, when we asked, CAO Heron and Deputy CAO Bedard to step into these roles, and they did so, we didn't say it was for an extended period of time. We said it was for, this shortened period of time until we could secure somebody. So not really wanting to put you on the spot, but I don't know that it's fair that we expect them just to continue in this role too, if they're not, really comfortable where they've landed so far.
CAO Heron?
Thank you, Your Worship, and to Councillor Moore. Staff do this job because we like what we do, and we stepped up because we found there was a need. As the world changes, and with this new legislation, the world changes, staff have always rolled with it. So we're at the mercy of council's wise decision, and we'll work with that, whatever direction it takes.
Counselor Thompson?
No, just the first question for yourself.
Oh, first question. I really can't, I haven't had a massive amount of time to embrace this. I'm learning this as we go. That's why we've scheduled to have the meeting on the 7th so that we can all fully understand this together. I would agree that this unanimous decision was the best decision at the time, but the landscape has changed. And candidates continue to come forward over and over again. And there could potentially be a candidate that we'd all agree on without having to go out to this. So I can't sit here today and tell you, again, these powers might not even happen. So I don't know for sure what that path is going to look like. And as opportunities continue to come forward, I'm going to have to be open to them. So I think what I'm asking is if we could just defer it until we all understand what this is, if there's a potential for us to move forward in a different path, having it be in-house. But if it's the will of council to continue to move forward without it, we're always at the will of council. Councillor Thompson?
My purpose in bringing this forward, Mayor Coughlin, was to save taxpayers money. There's going to be a lot of good candidates coming out contacting you. This is your opportunity and responsibility to help us select a good CAO, a permanent CAO, that one that you'll be able to work with on a regular basis. I see deferring it 4 weeks doesn't change our decision. It just gives us an opportunity to possibly not waste taxpayers' money. And when we vote on it, I would like a recorded vote, please.
Deputy Cabral?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. I just have to question the fact that because now strong mayor powers exist, all these people are jumping out of the woodwork, speaking directly to you. So I have to concern myself with that. I think that our path forward on this before, and we wanted it to be expedited to get it moving quicker, is that we should stay the course. I think the bigger the pool of candidates, the ones that are actually qualified to fill the position, should be the ones that are considered. And I don't see that this is a cost to the taxpayers. I think this gives us an opportunity, as we have done many times in the past, to get the candidates that are completely suitable to us so that we have, or you have, a selection to choose from. So putting it off just delays that entire process. So I'm not interested in deferring it. We voted unanimously to move it forward. And I would question those that are reaching out to you personally, seeking your blessing in becoming the CAO of this organization. I would maybe possibly even go as far as to question their motives. Are they unhappy where they are? Or are they in a fearful position that their own mayors is going to cut them loose? So I'm not interested in deferring it. I think this organization, this municipality needs the best candidates for this position. And we moved this forward. We asked our staff to look into it, to prepare a report so that we could get those individuals in front of this council, or as it seems you yourself now, so that you actually have an opportunity to pick the best person for the job. So I won't be voting to defer it. I will be voting to support it.
Councillor Garwood?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Well, I'm sure you and 168 other elected mayors in the province are receiving those same phone calls this week over the past week. So it's not a surprise that folks would do that. I think it also is a tell that folks want to work with the Township of Springwater. They want to be here. They see value in this team. They see value in this council and the exciting projects that this municipality has on the horizon over the next 10 years. Second to that, to correct some previous comments, we actually picked the longer route. Going the route of the headhunter takes a longer time. If we went to market, and I will let Manager DeVriend confirm my assumption here, but if we went to market, we could have posted internally almost immediately after we initially had these conversations, and we could be moving forward in a expedited process. But this council chose to take their time, and it goes back to my previous comment, because we saw value in doing the right thing and having the right candidate. I would hate to spend $30,000 of taxpayer money today for the mayor to choose a CAO in a few weeks, which would be her duly elected responsibility and right according to strong mayors. But again, We only know what we see on ontario.ca right now. We have no legal opinion. We have no further information. So let's take a minute. Let's get that information on May the 7th. And then no one is disagreeing that the headhunter route is going to provide us with a qualified panel and list of candidates. We all agreed on it once. I think we also agree that that is a good path to go. But if there's a chance that we can save $30,000, why not? We talk about it all the time. Fiscal responsibility. I get it thrown at me all the time at this table. Let's follow the advice.
I'll go to you, Deputy Cabral, and then we do have an amendment, or sorry.
Thank you. I'm just gonna capture two things that you said, Councillor Garwood. Right person, right candidate. So let's get the right person and the right candidate. And to suggest that earlier on in this meeting, someone brought up the issue of strong mayor powers, you were quick to shut them down. I believe
You might be speaking to closed session information that maybe
I
shouldn't be
apologize. I
in open.
apologize. Fair enough. At least I didn't give out the dynamic.
I said might be, so we can,
Anyway, I'm just saying that there's a double-edged sword here at the same time. Putting it off also puts us at a disadvantage in getting the right candidate. So I'm right person, right candidate. This council voted to move forward with this recruitment process to get that individual. And I want those individuals to be brought before this council or the mayor, if she so chooses to exercise those powers independently, so that the best candidate, the right person, can be put in place. And the only way we can do that is to move forward with this process.
we have it's moved and seconded. I need a seconder for the deferral, please. Councillor Garwood. So the recorded vote was called.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. So I'm just going to look to Councillor Thompson, who put the deferral on the floor, to just make sure that the wording is correct. So it reads that the motion now before council be deferred to the May 21st regular meeting of council to review the scope of work and cost. Would that be accurate?
Councillor Thompson.
So through the chair to Director Bedard, or acting or interim CA or deputy CAO Bedard, should we award this, it not get deferred, and we award this, and let's say May 1st, the mayor decides to exercise strong mayor powers and she appoints a CAO, is there any way that we can get out of this contract, or are we on the hook for the $29,510.40?
Director Bedard.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Through you to Councillor Thompson. If we proceed with the resolution to award, it's likely that we're creating a contractual obligation to proceed with that recruitment process with the professional engagement firm. So they would be expecting the work, and
Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Through you to Manager DeVried. Have we had any contact or arrangements? Have any sort of conversations happened between the headhunter and yourself so far? And sort of what do those details look like?
Manager DeVried.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Through to Councillor Moore and the rest of council. At this time, no, because it is my understanding until we kind of go through the procurement process, I can't have those conversations with the proponent.
Not seeing anything further. Before I do call the vote, I'm going to ask if the council for the will to defer it. Like I said, these strong mayor powers can come, and should there be opportunities before us, I don't want to waste this money. That's basically all I have to say. Clerk Marshall.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. So I'll just read the motion one more time before calling the recorded vote. So it reads that the motion now before council be deferred to the May 21st, 2025 regular meeting of council to review the scope of work and the cost. So when I call your name, please state yes or no. Councillor Garwood,
Yes.
Councillor Alexander,
No.
Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
No.
Councillor Fisher,
No.
Deputy Mayor Cabral,
No, no, no.
Mayor Coughlin.
Yes.
Defeated. Sorry, that motion is defeated.
We are back to the main motion and which has been moved and seconded. So the report from the manager of people and talent, payroll and benefits regarding the award of RFP 2025 for an executive search firm CAO recruitment dated April 16th be received, and that RFP 2025 PT executive search firm for CAO recruitment be awarded to Bettleman Daxon Partners in the amount of $29,510.40, including non-recoverable HST portion, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the necessary agreement. All those in favor?
Recorded vote or? That's.
The recorded vote, you can. And those opposed? And that has carried. We're now moving on to our information reports. May I have a mover and seconder for the information reports, please? Councillor Garwood, Deputy Cabral, that the report items listed herein be received as information. 1 is our building service monthly activity report. 2 is 2229 North Ore Lake Road. 3 is an update to the parkland dedication bylaw. 4 is the 2024 annual accessibility status report. 5 is our grader repair. 6 is the bylaw monthly activity report of March 2025. 7 is response and notice of motion for the council resolution of C06122025. And 8 is the fire department quarterly report of January to March for 2025. Are there any comments or questions on these or any to be pulled to be dealt with separately? Councillor Garwood?
Just a comment on item number 8, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Just a comment, and it's more of a thanks, really. Item number 8 is the fire department quarterly report from January to March 2025. In reviewing the report, and I strongly recommend that folks take a look at this, it discusses and highlights the number of calls our Springwater Fire and Emergency Services team has responded to in the first 3 months of the year. As many folks know, our community has sustained significant damage from a variety of snowstorms and obviously the ice storm most recently as well. The Springwater Fire and Emergency Services team in the first 3 months of 2024 responded to 137 calls. And this year it's up 101 additional calls to 238 in just the first quarter. So I wanted to, again, thank Chief Kirk and Deputy Chief French and the entire team for the work that your team does. I think it's important to acknowledge the increased demand that's been placed on you and your staff and your volunteer firefighters at all the halls across this municipality. Not one community more than the other has had its challenges this year with these weather events. So I thought it was important to mention that. So thank you, Chief.
Deputy Cabral?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. I meant to ask to see if staff might be able to elaborate on item number 7 with respect to the council resolution and the questions that went back out to staff with respect to the notice of motion put forward by Councillor Moore and seconded by Councillor Fisher, I believe, regarding expansion of the settlement areas. Just a brief overview, if you could.
CEO Heron?
Thank you. It might be more appropriate if we have the author of the report.
Thank you. Just to get a bit of an understanding of the process that went into it and some of the highlights. We have a number of folks in the gallery and we probably have some folks watching at home. And it'd just be nice to kind of keep this fresh in everybody's mind, what's going on. Thank you.
Through the chair to Deputy Mayor. So the staff report prepared for tonight was in response to the motion that was before council, I believe back in February. So I guess to provide a high-level summary with regards to the settlement area expansions, there's been a lot of changes at the provincial level with the new PPS, the repeal of the growth plan. So as us planners, we're trying to figure out what it all means. And I think we're a bit in uncharted territory, but the province has been pretty clear on what their intent is in changing these policies. So settlement area boundary expansions can now occur outside of municipal comprehensive review, which is the fancy planner term for the big land needs assessment official plan review that used to happen every 5 or 10 years. Expansions can occur outside of that, subject to specific provincial policy. So there's certain things you need to demonstrate in order to justify bringing additional lands in, and that includes the need for additional land. So that's a bit of a math exercise there. Capacity in terms of infrastructure and servicing, an evaluation of alternative locations, especially when considering agricultural lands, compliance with minimum separation distance, and of course, looking at phased progression for urban development.
Follow on.
Thank you. I was hoping you might be able to elaborate on the identified in the motion, a portion off the 400 off of Forbes Road with respect to what we considered to be provincially significant employment lands. And you've spoken about that in the report. Could you just provide an overview on that piece? Thank you.
Sure. So through the chair to the deputy mayor, provincially significant employment zones were legislated under the growth plan, which has been repealed. So it's no longer something that the minister is going out and appointing these lands anymore. It is now been downloaded to the municipalities to plan for employment lands. Of course, it's still as important. Employment planning can extend beyond 30 years, unlike residential planning. So there's that flexibility in provincial policy as well. And of course, considering the things I mentioned earlier. So it looks a little different, but it seems more onus is being put on the lower tier municipalities now.
Anything further on that? Thank you very much. Councillor, are there any other comments or questions on any of the items listed? Not seeing any, I have this moved and seconded so that the report items listed herein be received as information. All those in favor? And that has carried. We'll now move on to our verbal reports, and I will look to staff for any provided county update. Municipal updates. Councillor Alexander.
I just want to highlight that Saturday, April 19th, Phelpston will be holding its annual Easter egg hunt at 11 a.m. and barbecue. It's a long-standing event in Phelpston. The whole community comes out to enjoy it. Registration is full because the Easter Bunny does need some planning time. But if anybody is still interested, please feel free to reach out to me and I can contact the organizers to see if, there's a wait list or we can still get some extra people in. So always a fun event.
Councillor Garwood.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. Just a few items. I did want to first start with the Elmvale Farmers Market. The Farmers Market, as already mentioned at council here over the past few months, will be returning to the Elmvale community June the 12th through an extended season this year of September the 18th. We do currently have a call for vendors out. So if anyone's watching or listening or here in the gallery that knows somebody, send them to the BIA. The BIA is, again, making a significant investment in the local farmers market. And I know many of the local businesses and business community and the general community as a whole is pretty excited about that. The second item I wanted to mention was the Elmvale Ballpark fundraising. The ballpark group, the committee, was here just a few months ago, not even that long ago, to request support in regards to replacing the existing lights at the ball diamond behind the Elmvale Arena, which of course is not owned by the Township of Springwater. The arena is not the land. The ballpark committee is really excited to share that the fundraising efforts have been incredibly successful. The lights will be installed this season and operation will be continuing in the month of June, which is pretty exciting. There will be an event sometime in June to flick the lights on and celebrate our donors and the community. So I wanted to thank council once again for supporting that important initiative. The mayor and the deputy mayor as well for providing donations from your discretionary funds, and the community and everyone for coming together on this, which is pretty special. Of course, next weekend is the Elmville Maple Syrup Festival, which is a popular one in our municipality. April the 26th, starts at 8 a.m., goes till 5 p.m. We have over 200 vendors booked. The Pancake House will be full at the community hall. Sugar Bush Tour out at Lalone's on the 8th. The log sawing competition, which I'm hoping each of you will be participating in once again this year. We'll have live music, great food, local maple syrup producers. Again, it's one of Ontario's largest maple syrup festivals, which is pretty exciting in our little village in Elmville. So come on out and enjoy it. And the last thing I wanted to part with, which was mentioned at the top of the meeting, was just to send our best wishes and to honor former Ward 1 councillor and former Deputy Mayor Tony Hope, who was an Elmville resident for many years, on his recent passing. His contributions to our community will be remembered with deep gratitude. Thank you.
Councillor Moore and Councillor Thompson. Councillor Thompson.
I just missed one thing on development updates, if I may. Through the chair to Director Harvey, I'm getting some calls on Finley Mills with regards to the lane closure and now the full closure. Could you just give us a brief update as to what's going on there and when we can expect that road will be functioning properly again?
Dr. Harvey?
Yeah, through you, Mayor Coughlin, to Councillor Thompson. The latest we have, so first of all, they're two separate activities. The existing Finley Mill has been somewhat inactive due to the tunneling operation and micro tunneling there to do under Highway 26. They encountered our water main in that location and were required to get approval from MTO to close Finley Mill at the intersection. That took about 3 to 4 weeks is my understanding. And now they've started this week with the process of relocating the water main. And thus then they will be able to have the one lane back and continue their micro tunneling operation. The reconstruction of Finley Mill, we've asked for an update on that. There was a public meeting in Midhurst in the end of 2023 outlining, their schedule to be done in 2024. However, that was deferred to 2025. And currently the latest schedule that we have, and it hasn't been confirmed, is to start in July of 2025 on the full reconstruction, block by block, which is to extend from basically Waddy to Dorn Road. First, obviously the section to Belmont, over the summer starting in July. Hopefully that answers your question.
Is that a follow on to the development question? Go ahead.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. We put out a release earlier to say that Finley Mills Road was going to be closed. I actually had someone reach out to me to tell me that it hadn't been closed. So I'm just curious to know is it closed now or is it pending again?
Director Harvey?
Through you, Mayor Coughlin, to the Deputy Mayor. Currently it is as of this week because that's when they were given approvals to start. We did delay it at the township level because of the significant weather event and the ice storm and the cleanup 1 week. So now they've been given the green light. Obviously our Aqua staff were occupied on our critical infrastructure. It requires Aqua to be present through all this water main construction. So they are starting and it is fully closed, starting Tuesday, I do believe. So obviously yesterday, and we're hoping it'll be done by the end of the week. That's the schedule we've been given, but the delay was caused due to MTO approval initially.
Back to municipal updates.
Okay, my municipal updates, just an update on the Springwater Public Library. As tax season comes to an end, the volunteer tax program is also coming to an end. Spaces are still available and they're geared to low-income individuals. They can get their taxes done for free there. So if there's anyone interested, anyone interested, they can contact the Elmville Library for more details and for the sign up. We'd also like to thank the Friends of the Library, which is a charitable organization now. They recently made a $5,000 donation to our library. So thank you for that and congratulations. And would remind everybody, they will have a book sale at the Elmville Maple Syrup Festival this coming Saturday. Please come and make a donation and take a book. It's a very good cause. Would also like to let you know that the Anton Mills Extravaganza and Rabbit Run will take place this coming Saturday at the Community Center. The race begins at 10 o'clock and the Easter egg hunt is at 10:30. It is a sign-up event. You need to register and you can do that on the Facebook page. Thank you.
Councillor Moore?
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin. I'm still getting calls about the cleanup from the ice storm. You know, Centre Vespera was hit very hard, as well as other parts of our municipality and Midhurst particularly. So just wondering if we could publicly, give a little update on what the plan is for that and where we're at as far as progress on pickup, if we could, please.
I might turn back to Director Harvey.
Through you, Mayor Coughlin. So obviously we have a special council meeting on the 22nd but an update for council just on the works that Public Works are doing and with our private contractors. We're well underway in the rural areas of getting a lot of the debris cleaned up. Conversation will be with the county. As you know, the county has put out that they're going to be picking up a lot of the debris and they're putting extra trucks and shifts on to deal with that. And I would suggest that the public look at the ice storm report and updates on the county website. We anticipate in the public roadway to hopefully be complete in the rural areas by May 1st. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a timeline. And then obviously we'll look to council for an update on the 22nd as it relates to any additional works that may be undertaken. But right now, the county's fully engaged and hopefully that that process is going to take care of this major debris.
Follow on.
Thank you. Do you know, Director Harvey, is there somewhere folks can go to see where the progress is being made and sort of where they land on a schedule of some sort?
Through you, Mayor Coughlin. So we are basically, we have a live map within Public Works of areas that have been identified. There also is, we're using social media. So our communications department is communicating some of the activities. We don't have a live active map currently in our areas, but that may be forthcoming shortly. It's in the works with our IT.
Thank you, Nate. So there's an internal map being created for Springwater. And then we learned that the County of Simcoe is also doing something similar. So county staff and township staff are working collaboratively to get this up and going. So it's going to be presented in a way that it's very simple: red, yellow, green, where the identified areas are, where the work is happening, and to basically a place for people to go and see where the routes are and how it's going to be happening. So that is in works. Any further updates? Moving on to notices of motion. I have a move by Councillor Moore and a seconder, please. Councillor Fisher, and I'll turn to Councillor Moore.
Thank you. Once again, I am here to ask for council support for the ice rink tarp for Snow Valley Highlands. I am here every winter and our residents continue to do a fantastic job at fundraising for half of the cost of the tarp. And I'm looking for the support that money the remaining money can come out of the councillors' discretionary funds. I am hoping that with Director Culver and our resident group that we can come up with a different solution, possibly. They did talk about sourcing, particularly Canadian sourcing, may reduce the costs, as well as different materials could reduce the cost. So I just ask support this year, but maybe moving forward, we could look at reducing this somehow and other options out there. What are your thoughts?
Director Culver.
Thank you, Mayor Coughlin, through you. So staff don't currently provide that service, as you're aware. With council's direction, staff could look at it in time for the 2026 budget and look at a standardized approach that would meet the needs of anyone in the community that has that kind of opportunity. We're aware of about 5 slabs that use or could use a tarp. And so it would be a new service, but we'd be happy to explore it and come back with a solution and a report to council.
I have this moved and seconded. Is there any comments or questions for Councilor Moore? Not seeing any. All those in favor? And that has carried. Are there any additional notices of motion? Any items for future consideration? May I have a mover and seconder to approve the bylaws, please? Councilor Moore, Councilor Thompson, that the bylaws listed herein be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. 2025-033, the water bylaw. 2025-034 to amend the fees and charges bylaw. Any questions on the bylaws? All those in favor? That is carried. Confirmation bylaw. Garwood and Alexander, that bylaw 2025-035 to confirm and adopt the proceedings of council at the regular meeting held on April 16, 2025, listed herein be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. All those in favor? That is carried. And a mover and seconder to adjourn the meeting, please. Councilor Moore and Councilor Fisher, that the regular meeting of the Township of Springwater does now adjourn at 7:49 p.m. to meet again on a regular meeting on May 7th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. All those in favor? And that has carried.